Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, cool. Lots of success criteria, right? I'm not going to read them all out. I'll talk about the ones in which we are focusing on. So that is our whole unit. Too much talking? It's a whole unit that we're talking about. So to start with, physical and chemical properties. Our 3 success criteria that we're exploring today include describing the physical properties of matter, outlining what happens when one substance reacts with another, and outlining some examples of chemical properties, including combustion, corrosion, acidity, and reactivity. Okay. So chemistry, this is part of our chemistry unit. By definition, chemistry is the study of matter, right? And where we get the word matter is matter is something of substance, right? The unit's called properties of substances. So things of that matter are things of substance. So we use that in a descriptive way as well. So I might say what matters to you is things of substance to you, things of importance. In the physical realm, matter is something of substance, something which has mass. We can weigh it. Yeah? So it's different to light. So light isn't matter because light isn't made up of a substance, it's energy. Okay? And there's an energy and matter relationship too. Physical property. Yeah? Physical as in the physical realm. When we're talking about physical properties, we're talking things like its colour, its appearance. What does it look like? Is it yellow? Is it grey? Is it blue? Yeah? Is it white? So it's colour, it's how it appears. It's hardness. I'll go through some of these. Hardness is a substance's ability to resist local deformation. What that means is a hard substance will be able to scratch a softer substance, but not the other way around. Yeah? So my fingernail can't scratch this metal, but the metal could scratch my fingernail. Yeah? Malleability. Malleability is the ability to be hammered or rolled into sheets. So metals are really malleable. Ductile means the ability to be drawn into a wire. So if I pull on something both ends, it can be drawn into a wire. So really good for metals. Solubility, we'll talk about that. Whether or not it dissolves. Electrical and or heat conductivity. Does it allow for the transfer of heat or electrical energy? Density, right, is how much mass there is in a unit of volume. Melting and boiling point. Melting, it refers to the temperature at which something goes from a solid to a liquid. Boiling is the temperature at which something goes from a liquid to a gas. Luster refers to how shiny something is. When one substance reacts with another, a chemical reaction occurs when we get this combination or a transfer and a rearrangement of the atoms, right? A rearrangement of the particles in some way. This is my favourite reaction. It's called the decomposition of nitrogen triiodide. Yeah, so it's this highly unstable compound that erupts with a nice big bang into nitrogen gas and iodine, which is the purpley smoke colour that you can see. New substance has different properties from the substance it forms. So nitrogen triiodide is highly unstable, it explodes. Nitrogen and iodine are very stable. Yeah, they don't react readily. Chemical properties is how a chemical substance will behave chemically, how it reacts. So is it combustible? Right? Does it burst into flames? Will it react with fire? How does it corrode? Does it react with oxygen readily? Does it, like iron and steel and rust, for example? Acidity, right? Is it acidic or basic? Is it neutral? It's reactivity in a general sense. Start off with combustion. Combustion is a chemical process whereby we've got a fuel and we burn it. You know? Like with our Bunsen burners that we've just been looking at, it's predominantly methane. Predominantly methane. When methane reacts with oxygen, when it's lit, causes fire, right? And the methane gas breaks down and reforms into oxide and water as the products. So this is called a methane gas candle. So instead of wax burning, it's the gas burning. We can see that like a candle, as the fuel runs out, right, we can see the flame go down the candle. Corrosion. Corrosion is a substance's readiness to break down and oxidize in the presence of oxygen or sometimes water as well. So rust applies to iron. It might be tarnishing, decay, or corrosion in a general sense with other metals in particular. Two more. Acidity. Right. Acidity is a measure of how acidic a substance is. So this little video of me is a reaction involving concentrated nitric acid with copper. And so nitric acid is very acidic. It causes the copper to react and break down, producing this brownie coloured nitrogen dioxide gas, and changes the physical properties of the copper, going from that reddish browny metal into this bluey green copper nitrate substance. We're not going to look too much at pH, but you might have heard of pH before. Yeah? The lower the pH, the more acidic it is. Right? It's the opposite of what you might think. The lower the pH, the more acidic something is. So lemon juice has a pH of 2, so lemon juice is quite acidic. Baking soda is basic, it's alkaline. It's got a pH more than 7, 8. Reactivity. Yeah, nearly finished for today. Reactivity is how ready a substance will go in a chemical reaction. Some are highly reactive, some are not. So if we look at these two different metals, this is a reaction of cesium, the very reactive metal, being dropped in water. And this is gold. Gold is very unreactive. It exists as its pure element in nature, does not tarnish readily. Okay, here's our checklist. Describe the physical properties of matter. What were some of those examples of physical properties? Let's go. Colour, hardness, Form. Yeah, okay. Look. Reactivity is a chemical property. Huh? What are the physical properties? Toughness, yeah? Hardness, toughness, strength, yeah? Melting and boiling point. State and temperature. These are the physical properties of substances. What happens when a substance reacts with another? There is a reaction, yeah, but what's actually happening? Not mixing. You've got to be careful not to use that word. Mixing is a physical reaction. Yeah? It's a rearrangement of the atoms. And going through these. Combustion, nearly done, right? Remember, combustion is a chemical reaction associated with fire that's burning something in the presence of oxygen. Corrosion often linked with iron and steel, right? So something that's rusting or tarnishing or oxidizing. Acidity is that measure of how acidic something is. And reactivity is how something reacts in the presence of another.